We're going to record this for people who can't make it tonight, but uh, this is the Pennsylvania Ford Party General Meeting for May 2026. This meeting, we're joined by Sophie Gelling, who is a representative from Let Us Vote, and she is here to talk about what's happening tomorrow on the primary day. So thank you for joining us, Sophie, and I'll let you get to it.
Great, thank you. So, like, like, uh, like I said, I'm Sophie. I'll be leading a picket tomorrow, for primary day at the polls with Let Us Vote, which is an initiative of the Open Primaries organization, the parent organization. And um, I'd really like to talk to you guys about landscape of our state with open primaries, some statistics for growing numbers of independents and non-affiliated voters, and also what um, avenues we're working towards for open primaries in Harrisburg. So tomorrow, PA is going to spend $75 million in taxpayer money to run primary elections. And 1.4 million independent and unaffiliated voters, who of course are paying that bill, are legally barred from the ballot box. In 91% of PA races, as you know, the primaries are very, very important in deciding who's on the ballot ultimately. And in PA, it's 91% of them where the primary decides the election. So the winner of tomorrow's primary is effectively the winner of the seat. Um, that's according to Ballot PA, who we've been working closely with different lawsuits against the state. So tomorrow, while those 1.4 million PA voters are locked out, we are going to make our voices impossible to ignore. As you know, independents are made out to be really a faceless population of voters, a faceless constituency. So something I'm really interested in is those in-person actions and getting out in front of voters tomorrow and getting in front of legislators on the Hill and in Harrisburg to make this a movement with a face, the faces of our neighbors. So let's talk about the status of open primaries. There's two routes that Open Primaries as an organization is focusing on to achieve success for open primaries in our state. The first is litigation. We have a historic lawsuit has been filed in the PA Supreme Court that argues that the PA primaries violate the free and equal elections clause in our state constitution. So no citizen should be forced to join a private organization to exercise a fundamental right is what the lawsuit is saying. And legislatively, the second branch of action towards open primaries is looking towards House Bill 280. This bill would allow unaffiliated voters to choose a Democratic or Republican ballot, so a semi-open primary, which is, a step in the right direction, a huge step in the right direction. Right now, that bill is currently laid on the table since May 13th, 2025. It's effectively on hold with the sponsor as Representative Jared Solomon. And obviously, we want to take a lot of post-primary day momentum into those efforts, legislatively, litigation-wise. But looking towards tomorrow, we are having two informational pickets, one in Philly and one with our friends in Pittsburgh in the western part of the state, to stand up for these 1.4 million voters. They're both happening tomorrow. The Ford Party has been so gracious and sending out the flyer information for the Philly picket. But just so folks know, they're happening tomorrow at 4 p.m. Both start at 4 in Philly and Pittsburgh. We're asking folks to just show up as close to 4 o'clock as possible. So we have the biggest number at our action at one time as possible. And yeah, so it would be great for you or those in your network to give us an hour of your time to stand with us tomorrow. And I'm going to put my contact information in the chat as well as some of my recent op-eds that specifically focused on this surge of Gen Z voters who are increasingly independent. You'll see 56% of Gen Z is unaffiliated. And so I'm really looking forward to talking with the Forward Party more as primary day concludes and seeing how we can work collaboratively, not just towards open primaries, but towards building more of a cohesive identity for independents across the state and a more cohesive network as well. Um, so thank you so much. That's everything I have right now.
Thank you. Brian, I did see you had your hand up earlier. You are on mute.
Hey, yeah, great to hear from you, Sophie. That sounds like great work. I didn't know if you had the details for the Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Uh,
I do. So that Pittsburgh picket is happening at Mount Lebanon High School at a polling place, similarly to our action, which will be held at a polling place in Philly. Mount Lebanon High School in Pittsburgh at 4 p.m. And we have two PA state leads, myself, and another state leader out in Pittsburgh. So where are you located, by the way?
It's a tricky story. Let's go with my house that is about 2 miles from where you're talking
Okay, cool. Cool.
about. Yeah, I know it well. That's great. Now, you're involved with Let Us Vote, right?
Yes, an initiative within openprimaries.org.
Oh, I see.
So I've been working collaboratively with Kathy Stewart. Jen Bullock connected me with you guys as someone who's worked with Kathy over the years. And my partner, Bree Dahlgren, is the national organizer for Open Primaries. So I've really focused in on this Let Us Vote campaign.
Mhm.
And I believe the campaign will really be evolving towards more on-campus actions, polling, lobbying, and more focused on the 2027 legislative session.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we've worked pretty closely with independent Pennsylvanians and open primaries in general. Like that's been a big topic for us. Um, ultimately we'd like to go all the way to an Alaska style nonpartisan primary, something like ranked choice voting,
Right.
to kind of like get the parties out of control over who's on the ballots.
Yep.
But open primary seems like the perfect way to start. And it's just so clear that we shouldn't be paying for elections that so many people can't participate in. So I appreciate your work you're doing. It's a great place to start.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Robert.
So I was wondering if you were paying attention to the congressional race with Alice Stanford and Chris Rabb. And
Yes.
if yeah, I mean, I met Chris Rabb briefly. He had some kind of I think it was in Germantown. So does Let Us Vote have a stance on that race as far as what is the most, I guess, pro-election reform candidate?
So open primaries doesn't openly endorse any specific candidates for third party candidates or otherwise.
Nonprofit, I gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's been the exciting part of stepping into this work from that nonpartisan, strictly nonpartisan lens. But that is exactly the kind of work that I want to focus on myself moving forward is how do I use this network and this information about the growing populace and what the voter population looks like, not only in Gen Z landscapes, but other other demographics across the state. And connect with, connect with candidates to support them moving forward. But that would just be something I'm individually focused on. Open primaries won't do that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Go ahead, David.
Well, thank you for being here. I am a big fan of open primaries myself. When I am making that argument, one of the biggest objections I get is people being very dismissive of the hardship or the ideological sacrifice it is to register with a party that you don't subscribe to in any other way. So how do you answer that objection when people say, oh, stop whining, you can just register to be a Republican for the primary or register to be a Democrat for the party, for the primary? What's your response to that?
My response to that is that it is an action that in no way helps to shift the system, reform the system, and include those who are currently locked out. I think um, the closed primary system right now really keeps a lot of these independent voters seeming like an apathetic group, and they are not. And I think having having the option to support smaller third parties, it really it's a necessary conversation change in our country, and I think we really need to, have the option to really have a real identity as a voter, because so many people just aren't identifying with either party. It leaves people without an identity, and I think there's no way to create reform and community around these issues without some sense of identity outside of those parties to share with others.
Thank you for that answer. I have not thought to paint it in terms of identity before. That's a good
That's
frame.
what comes to mind. Yeah. Recently, we were talking last week with, what is his name? David Solik. He's the author of The Lever, the CEO of The Lever, which is independent news work. And he was also involved with the Don't Look Up movie as well. He's also in Hollywood. But he was talking a lot about, independent voters from more of like a sociological lens and thinking about the 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 impact of what it means for a whole generation of folks, for example, in Gen Z, to be politically homeless, so to speak, and to feel like they, don't have a place in the current system and don't have a place in the fight for reform. So that's why my mind goes to a shared sense of identity, because independents aren't connecting with each other. And it's really, in my opinion, creating a lot of distance between organizations that could be working collaboratively together, candidates who could be working collaboratively together. So yeah, that's something I'm very interested in, is what does an identity look like for independents if with such diversity in political views.
I actually have other questions, but I don't want to jump in if anybody else is waiting to ask others.
I'll let you go first, David.
We hit on the fact a few minutes ago that any nonprofit like Let Us Vote or Open Primaries has to be careful about appearing to endorse any particular political candidate. So that's one of the things that I think makes the Forward Party unique. We have one foot in that election reform space, pushing for things like open primaries, one foot in the third party space where we can actually endorse and run candidates. So can you think of anything specific that the Forward Party is positioned to do that open primaries can't do? Any recommendations you have for us to use our unique position to the best advantage?
Well, thank you for your question. What comes to mind for me is that the Forward Party is one of a few third parties that is organized nationally, that they have a solid statewide assembly, just like we have here. And it's also something you can find cross states. So the Forward Party, because of their national network, you're looking at a national network of independents in a way that is not commonly found. State to state, open primary laws differ, but of course there's only 8 or 9 open or closed primary states. I believe that the unique positioning of the Forward Party to collaborate across states is really the most powerful aspect. Just being able to be a connector for grassroots campaigns and
Oh,
third-party
thanks.
candidates. Yeah.
I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah.
Saying that we can do that, but don't mean to put you too much on the spot because you of course can't say who to vote for. Like you just said,
Mhm.
it might put your nonprofit status in danger.
Right.
So you don't have to dance too much around that topic because it seems difficult. But you're doing quite good, I gotta say. You seem to be very well practiced in like the political landmine. It seems like that everybody now has a camera and well, I mean, this recording probably won't be seen by many, but tomorrow there
Right.
may be a lot of cameras on you. So
That's
so long as
right.
you're ready, yeah.
Yes. Going off of that point, thank you, Robert. Open Primaries also has a wonderful program called the Spokesperson Training. This might be something interesting to you guys, especially for those who are just getting started with you at the Forward Party. The spokesperson training was led by Open Primary staff, as well as some professors out at University of Arizona. And it was about 2 hours. And it really, really was effective in training me on how to argue my position, especially with open primaries, especially with the importance and validity and need for third parties and third party candidates. So I just want to mention that as someone who has just stepped into, I was a political science major, and that was, and I've done some political organizing, but really the spokesperson training has been critical for me to be able to write op-eds, to be able to talk with my neighbors and friends, and also, very importantly, to be able to talk to students and young voters. So as a Philly resident, I've been going on campuses throughout this spring semester. Since I was out there in the blizzard. So it was back in February, I started going to Penn and Drexel and just asking students, do you know that there are 1.5 million people locked out of the elections? Do you know that there are 56% of those in your generation who aren't subscribing to either party? And no, they did not. They did not know. So I think that's something I've really benefited from. And I am very interested in understanding how the Forward Party can leverage that national network and be an example for other third party campaigns, other independent movements to 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 show like what an alternative identity looks like.
I'm really glad that you're doing that outreach at colleges because my impression is that as people get older, they tend to drift towards one or the other of the well-defined political sides. And as a result, it's difficult to find people who are older who are simultaneously politically engaged, but not already allied with the Republicans and Democrats. So aiming for people at college age who may not have formed those strong allegiances yet to a major party, that's where I think that there's real potential to find some independent-minded people. And like you mentioned, forge an identity around that before it hardens into partisanship.
Yeah, and young people, sorry to jump in, but young people don't like being told who they can listen to, right? They don't have the like institutional habits of like going to a channel to watch all their TV shows or a certain store to buy all their stuff at. You know, they're used to like browsing the market and picking what they want and listening to individual podcasters. You know, it's just their way not to throw in with the Democrats or with the Republicans. It seems to me, you know, from where I am. You know, it's and so if we can show them the candidates that are running outside of the two-party system that, you know, speak to the things that they're concerned about and show them that, you know, we need to make the reforms to change this whole system. And I think there's a lot of young people that are gonna see the value. Um, so yeah, thanks for doing what you're doing and talking to young people because the older you are, the harder it is to reach them.
Yeah. One question. Uh, Besides possibly attending tomorrow's events, what else could we do to help support Let Us Vote?
So we have a monthly power hour meeting with open primaries. The next one is in June, and I will follow up with you via email with different links and things like that to get to stay involved with open primaries as summer arrives. We have people who are doing the Independent Speak Out campaign within this initiative, which allows folks to submit a video of them telling us why they're an independent. And Open Primaries is going to be taking those videos and those quotes and putting them together for commercials and advertisements, and really creating a campaign of faces of independence in our state. So we have a link to a survey where you can fill out your information and submit a video for that. Outside of that, we have, like I said, the monthly power hour, and that's all I have to share for right now.
Thank you. Any other questions before we move on?
Quickly, could you please clarify the difference or the relationship between open primaries and Let Us Vote? I'm confused because
Yeah.
it seems like they have the same mission, so I'm not sure why they're separate entities.
So Open Primaries is the organization that I am a volunteer for, and the initiative that they're running in Pennsylvania, in Kentucky, in Oklahoma, in Maryland, they have Let Us Vote statewide initiatives. And within them, we're focused on primary day. We're focused on making independence in those states visible. And like I said, making videos and that kind of thing, op-eds, creating state leadership pipelines, like the one that they put me right into for PA, to move forward and look towards, like I said, more litigation and legislation issues in 2027. So it's an initiative within open primaries, and each state that like mostly Kentucky and PA for primary day tomorrow are at the forefront of the work right now because primary day is tomorrow.
That makes sense. Thank you.
I don't know if you're aware, but Ben and I were in one of those trainings, the
Oh, yeah?
spokesperson training. Yeah,
Oh,
I think I did
excellent.
quite well. So, you know, but
Maybe we're in it together. Yeah, I found that to
it's
be
possible. Yeah.
important. I think that especially those who are interested but not so sure how to articulate their views, workshopping that is so huge.
Oh yeah. And it's I think it's like something that like most independents can really agree on. I mean, there's certain issues that if it comes down to it, like Citizens United or like the Fix It right to repair kind of things, like some people can agree with, but then it gets kind of dicey. But then when you get to open primaries, it's like, yeah, I mean, this is like something that we should all really have, and it's very unifying, and it's great, and it's great that we get younger people out there spreading the word, and I guess we'd like to help you as much as we can. So hopefully we can try to send at least I think Nancy Hanks, maybe she can come. I don't know. We'll see. I think
Yeah.
she's from a little bit further than, let's say, Jennifer is. Well,
Yeah, I reached out to Nancy. Yeah, it seems like there's a robust network. I'm interested in the King of Prussia convention. I'd be interested to hear how things are looking for the convention and what your goals are. If you guys will all be there, I will definitely attend.
that's great. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a good segue. What do you think, Ben? You want to jump to that, or do you want to talk about the TED Talk?
I will start my slideshow, and I
Okay,
will.
Oh yeah,
it's on there. Yeah,
yeah.
good call.
Saw this too. Is this the Kimmel Center?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that's in next month, which I suggest more people go, not just the Southeast. I mean, it could be a nice little road trip, but if you haven't been in the Philly area in a while, a good amount has changed, and I think it should be a nice day. But this is the other one at the Hyatt House, right?
Convention is scheduled for July 18th at King of Prussia. I'm happy to announce that our keynote is going to be Christine Todd Whitman, and we are still working on the rest of the itinerary, but we're looking at party business in the beginning of the day, then some panels before we uh, allow our independent candidates, Chris Cambino and uh, I'm blanking on his last name, Rodney. Uh, uh, they're
Rodney
gonna. Oh yeah, Rodney Jones. Uh, thank you, Brian. Rodney Jones is also running as an independent for the PA House. Uh, they're going to speak at the convention, and then we'll finish up with Governor Whitman as the keynote. So, and we're really hoping that our candidates for the PA House do well because the Pennsylvania House is always within a single digit, oftentimes even with a one vote majority. So if we are able to get a single independent, we might be able to prevent either party from having an outright majority. By creating that fulcrum, we can get a lot of these election reform initiatives passed through the House. So hopefully we can get that done this year, but uh, we will try our best to do so. Did anybody else want to speak on this?
I'd like to add that Governor Whitman was once tapped to almost be the vice president of the country back in the day. So for those who haven't known her that well, but alas, she decided not to. She wanted to remain governor of New Jersey, and instead someone else became vice president. But I think, yeah, she's just a huge get for us, and I think we're very excited to have her. And if anybody wants to help plan the convention, we have a convention planning committee. But I think a lot of it is still pretty much we're pretty much settled in for most of the details, and it should be quite an event. And there's a nice outdoor area too. So after the whole event, there's a nice outdoor fire pit patio next to the convention area. that give us a good time to kind of just talk about, next steps and other things, and just kind of relax and celebrate. It's a big celebration, right? That's, big 250th birthday. So thank you.
Yeah. Did you have any other questions about the convention?
Is the convention going to be having some candidates on that show up and outside of the keynote speakers? Will there be other politicians and candidates there?
So we know of Eric Settle is our last. So last year he was our Attorney General candidate. Unfortunately, he didn't win versus David Sunday, the Republican candidate, but he remains, active in that space. And I mean, I guess he knows David Sunday as a former Republican, and he was on Shapiro's transition team. So he'll be there, and he'll help panel and speak. And we're confident that at least a few others. I mean, Chris Gambino is going to speak, and then maybe Ron Ruman, right? And we have some others that are. We're still getting some final confirmations. But I guess we'll update as we know further, right?
Yep. And our next planning meeting I scheduled for May 26th at 8 p.m. That's in next week and the day after Memorial Day. So hopefully we can get some more of this stuff ironed out, and hopefully we'll see everybody on July 18th. But we have a few things happening before then. Like tomorrow, our friend Ron Ruman is running in a special election. This means even independents can vote in this district out in York County. So we are a strong supporter of Ron. He was a former Republican who serves as a township supervisor and is now, he switched parties to a Democrat. And he will be on the special election ballot as well as the general election ballot in November. But we're hoping that he can pull out a victory tomorrow and uh, help the help lead the Pennsylvania General Assembly forward. So, uh, any questions, concerns, comments on that before I move on?
Seems like a great guy, right? I think we spoke to him last. He was pragmatic. I think he was okay with some of the power company issues, even though I guess now that they're not so popular anymore with the the whole I guess the Strait of Hormuz and the rising prices. I think the power company is not very popular, and therefore, I mean, they had to pull a lot of funding. I think they lost their CEO. So we'll have to talk about that some other time though. But all right.
Yeah, and I mentioned before the convention. Please join us to help plan it and to join us on July 18th. We also have a upcoming TED Talk in Philadelphia. Did you want to talk about that a little bit more, Robert?
Yeah, sure. It's just this as it says, SEPA, Southeast PA, basic committee of the PA 4 party. I think we've decided to try to meet up a little bit throughout I mean, it's going to be a long day between 9 a.m. and I think the last talk, it probably starts at 7:30, so it could even go later. So the idea is just to meet up at some point in the day, probably around 3, 4 p.m. Just so we can kind of get together. I have a photo. Chris Gambino and I may actually show up earlier just so we can kind of get a lay of the land, maybe talk to some people. If anybody's interested in maybe like meeting people in the Kimball Center, it's it's quite a nice space. I think there's a lot of room to kind of hang out. There's a lot of chairs. You can get coffee. There's like a coffee shop, and there's a new restaurant. I haven't been to the newer restaurants. They tend to change it often. It's a pricey restaurant, so we'll probably end up eating a couple blocks away because it's less busy. But it's a nice space. I think it used to be called Verizon Center. I think I could share my screen here. Let me just there you go. Right there. So this is where we're going to hang out, is basically this area. Ahead of us is the actual Merriam Anderson Hall. So where the people are up the what's it called, up the stairs, the next tier, that's how you get to the stadium seating. But when you're out here, this is basically, it's inside, so it's climate controlled. But you see that huge the glass thing, you could see it from Google Maps, and it's just a good place to kind of hang out. And it's kind of controlled, so you have to have a ticket to be in here. So it's rare that you can be in here without spending without spending less than $100. And the ticket is $29 for the tier 3, so it's very like people friendly. So, and then we're going to end up here, and if we're lucky enough, we may be able to be behind everyone. Like, I don't know if you can see the mouse, but there's like this top section of the Anderson Hall where, I mean, if we get together, we could hold up signs or something, just to make a fun thing out of it. And then would be kind of a part of the show. Hopefully we don't get kicked out or anything, but the idea is not to be too disruptive, Sophie, as much as you like picketing. But we might still get some signs going though. I might have to take some hints from you as far as making signs that are nice and visible. But yeah, it
Well,
should be
at
should
least
be
wear
good.
a forward t-shirt or something.
Yeah, I have a Ford t-shirt now, but unfortunately it's a different it's like a baseball tee, so be careful. Make sure you try them on before you. Yeah, I don't quite understand this 3/4 thing, but yeah. Oh, where's the and then what is it? They had the schedule of people. I guess you guys could find it yourself, but it's basically the next 250 years. I mean, so because it's a 250 celebration, it's basically looking forward. So a lot of it is like futuristic, kind of what happens now to democracy, and I just think it just fits so perfectly with what we're trying to do. Is, I mean, I honestly believe that like a third major party is inevitable. It's going to happen because there's just so much infighting amongst these two parties, and it hardly makes any sense. I think I don't want to take up too much time, but in the new what was it about the January 6th? There's a January 6th thing where Trump is trying to give the people that were harmed, that his supporters, trying to give him like $1 billion or something. And he's basically suing himself. And if there was a third party, you would think they'd be able to get in there and be like, You can't do that," and just give $1 billion of taxpayer money to whomever you want. You're right. It just seems like this is when a third party should step in. So, um,
I'm hoping that
sorry. Yeah.
people will the lawsuits that will inevitably come uh, succeed in stopping that, but uh, hopefully democracy will look more like what they're going to talk about at the event in Philly, and hopefully we can get a lot of Ford supporters there as well.
So Ben, you should come. It should, I mean, you can't be that far, right?
Just about 300 miles.
Yeah, just hop on a train. I mean, I've done it before. I've done a bus before from Philly to Pittsburgh. It was one of those mega buses. So it's like a little bit of a ride, but you bring a book or something, get some music. I mean, it's not terrible, but
But on the plus side for me, if I can work my slide, Fair Districts is having an event in Carnegie, PA, out by us, on Wednesday, May 20th. That's this Wednesday at 7 p.m. till 8:30 p.m. Called Delineating Democracy, all about gerrymandering with Fair Districts, PA. So if you're in the southwest portion of the state, please, if you can, please come out to the Carnegie Library and learn about fair districts and their uh, efforts with ending gerrymandering. They do request that people register before the event, but hopefully you'll be able to do that and join them at this event.
that's neat. It's Carnegie instead of Carnegie because I guess that's like a local thing, like Rodeo Drive versus Rodeo. Is that how that works?
Carnegie is how it's pronounced in Pittsburgh, and uh, from a Pittsburgher's point of view, the correct way to pronounce it instead of Carnegie. But
Oh, okay.
Andrew
My
Carnegie
mistake.
was from Pittsburgh. We get to decide how to say it.
yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah. So, and you can follow the QR code if you watching this, and or go to the Fair Districts PA event page and learn more about the event there. So, shout out to Fair Districts. Uh, we also have several events with the National Party. Of note, particularly, is the AAPI committee launch on May 20th, also this Wednesday. So you might have to miss the Fair Districts event for that, but it's at 8:30 p.m. Uh, in June, we have Make Your Voice Heard with the Digital Democracy Project. Uh, that's at 7 p.m. on June 8th. The National Volunteer Call is on June 9th at 7:30 p.m. And what I would like to see us focus a lot on in Pennsylvania on June 5th. It is a little bit before the next statewide call, but at 6:30, there's how to talk about the Ford Party. So mark them on your calendars. Uh, did anybody want to comment on any of these events?
Maybe just the AAPI launch is going to have Andrew Yang there. So if any Andrew Yang fans, he's gonna be there for the launch. I don't know how long he's gonna be there, but he gave us a good while last time. He was on a call while we on a planning committee thing. So yeah, I mean, if you had any questions for him, um I think it's open for everyone that's like AAPI advocates and AAPI, so Asian American Pacific Islander. So thanks.
Welcome. And speaking about committees, there are currently 8 national committees: AAPI, Black Voters, Hispanic and Latino, Young Fortis, LGBTQ, Veterans, the Women's Committee, and Native Americans. What we're hoping to eventually have is at least one person from Pennsylvania in each of these committees so that we can uh, be aware of what's happening with each of them, and promote them on these calls. So uh, if one of these uh, applies to you, we encourage you to join up and uh, help make help bring America forward through these committees. We are always in the look for county leads. This is one of the best ways to make your voice heard in the Pennsylvania Ford Party. Some tasks is recruiting candidates, organizing events and local signatures, and to help build the movement in whichever way you feel is best. So this is something you would like to learn more about, please contact the Pennsylvania Ford email account and we'll uh, help you learn more. We're also looking for uh, volunteers to help our fundraising efforts. It takes a lot of money to uh, launch a third party, and we always want to uh, build this build on this front as well as the other ones. So hopefully we can find opportunities on this front if if this is what you are interested in. Our next, as I alluded to earlier, our next meeting is June 15th at 8 p.m. and we hope to see you there. It is now time for open floor and questions. Did anybody have any comments, concerns, questions on what happened tonight or what is happening in Forward Party or in general?
I don't know. I lost it. So go ahead.
Yeah, Robert, are you meeting up with Chris Gambino tomorrow?
I am. Yes, I am for the probably afternoon to evening session. So yep,
Mhm.
getting my I do have a lot of stuff, I guess. A tip if you ever get signatures, I always try to give something when you're getting signatures because then people are more likely to stop if you know because you're getting a bit of their time. You give them like a little like a pin or like I think you make it some cookies. So if you guys are in town or anybody, well, you know, if you know people in town, you can get some cookies.
Yeah.
So yeah, so was Rachel,
Cool.
I think. So
I don't know if you saw, I shared the video on Slack of him on Nerds for Humanity.
oh yeah, yeah. I
That
didn't get
was,
to see the whole thing, but that's so cool though. Cheers to
yeah, it
that.
was
Yeah.
kind of a like I don't know how much of that channel you've watched before, but Tom, he's like old
Yeah.
school Yang Gang.
Yeah,
And he
I was old
um,
school Yang Tang. I've probably seen maybe half of his videos or something. I don't
yeah.
know. At some point over the years. So cool though. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
so he reached out and I put him in contact with Chris and yeah, it's up. So that was a really good interview, I thought, and it's something we can share.
Yeah, I have that queued up in my YouTube watch later list. I'll be interested to see if there are any good bits to mine for a social media clip.
Oh yeah.
Good call. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think he clipped it up a little. So I think if you just look at Nerds for Humanity YouTube or whatever, he breaks things down.
Oh, then we can share
Even
it,
easier
right?
than you thought. Mhm.
Yeah. Good call. It's like and follow our, our socials, and we'll try to do the same. And
Yeah, and if
alright.
you're watching this video, please like, comment, and subscribe.
And smash that bell.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's
There you go.
burned into my brain now. I've heard it so many times from other YouTube channels.
Yeah, that was it. I also reached out to, well, anyway, that's a different conversation, but anyway, we can support these candidates. It will be a great hope.
Right. Any other comments?
Just thanks for the space today to share about initiative, and it's really nice meeting everyone. I'm definitely interested in some of those committees, and I have some talks scheduled with like Rachel for post primary day, so we'll definitely be in touch.
That's
Great.
fantastic.
Right.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Thank you for joining us and presenting for today. And hopefully we'll see you soon.
It was a great conversation.
Thank you guys so much. Have a good night, everyone.
Yep.
You too.
All right,
Right.
take care. Yep. Let's see.